Now we're going to learn how to name ketones. A ketone functional group is a carbon atom that has a double bond to an oxygen atom and then two single bonds to alkyl groups. They're usually abbreviated as R and R prime for an asymmetrical ketone, or as just R and R if you have a symmetrical ketone. To name a ketone, we're going to follow these steps. We're going to name the parent structure, and that will be the longest carbon chain that includes the C double bond O carbon. This is also very commonly referred to as the carbonyl carbon, so I'll probably be saying that a whole bunch as we go through this section. So the longest carbon chain that includes the carbonyl carbon. Then we are going to get rid of the E from the parent structure name and add the ending one, O-N-E. Then we'll find and name any substituents on the rest of the parent structure, and then we're going to add the locants, and then we're going to give that carbonyl carbon, the C double bond O, the lowest number we can. So let's follow these steps for this example molecule here. It has 1, 2, 3, 4 carbons in the parent structure, including that carbonyl carbon. 4 carbons is a butane. We're going to drop the E and then add one. So that'll give us butanone. There are no other substituents on this molecule, and so we're just going to find our locant. So if we label the numbers this way, we'll get 1, 2, 3, 4. I think you can easily see that if you numbered the other way, the carbonyl would get 3, and 2 is better, so we'll just stick to this numbering. And so again, we're going to stick our locant in between the parent structure part of the name and the ending "one." So this will be butane to one, or butan to one. I don't really know how you're supposed to pronounce it, but this is the IUPAC name. If you have more than one ketone group in a molecule, you're going to just take the parent name, add the multiplier for the number of ketones you have, and then the ending "one." So in this example, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbons. So that's a pentane. We don't drop the E in this case. We'll add our multiplier di for 2, and then one for the functional group. So it's a pentane dione. And we need to put our locants. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And so that means we have ketone groups on 2 and 3. So this is a pentane, pentane 2, 3 dione. When you have a ketone that you can't name as part of the parent structure because maybe there's something more important on the molecule, or it's part of a complex substituent or something like that, you're going to name it using the prefix oxo. In this example here, we have an aldehyde functional group that is this one here. And then we have our ketone, which is this one here. So the ketone is less important than the aldehyde, and so it's going to be named as an oxo substituent. So this molecule's name is 2-oxobutanal, and so the 2-oxo refers to the ketone as a substituent on the molecule. We will do a little bit of practice naming ketones before we move on. So let's have a look at this cyclic molecule here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbons. So that's going to be a cyclopentane. We'll get rid of the E and add one. So it's a cyclopentanone. And then there is a substituent as well. So there's a bromo substituent. So it's going to be a bromocyclopentanone. And we're going to have to add our numbering. So we're going to favor that carbonyl carbon for getting the lowest number. And because it's a ring, we can give it 1 because we can decide where 1 goes. So 1, 2, and the bromo will be 3. Hopefully you can notice that if I had numbered the other way around on the ring, the bromo would have gotten 4. So 3 is better. So this is going to be a 3 bromo. cyclopentan, 1 one. All right, next we have an alkene with a ketone functional group. Let's count the carbons. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this is also a pent, but it's a pentene. Pentene. We'll drop the E. So pentenone. And then we're going to number. So the carbonyl group, the carbonyl carbon is closer to this end of the molecule, so I'm going to number this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So the ketone functional group is on 2, and the alkene starts on 3. So that means this is going to end up being pent 3 ene 2 one. And lastly, we can't forget the stereochemistry of the double bond. So let's remember that there's an implicit hydrogen here and an implicit, I'm just going to erase the 4, hydrogen here. So let's mark out our priorities. So on this carbon right here, we have a carbon versus a hydrogen. So carbon wins. This is the carbon, the carbonyl that I'm talking about. So that means that this side is the priority. And then we have here, this is a CH3 group, right, versus an H, so carbon versus hydrogen. So this side is the priority. We'll draw our imaginary little plane, and then we see our priorities are on opposite sides, so they're enemies, and that means that this is an E stereochemistry. So E pent 3 ene 2 one.